Morning. I went bait digging this morning, not with the idea of getting loads and loads of worms. The idea was just to go out there and test some seals out. I bumped into a lot of people over the last lot of big tides, and I was amazed at the amount of people that were going out there pumping, and well, I say their pumps weren't exactly working very well, and they made a beeline straight for me, and the first thing they said was, can you give us a hand, help us set the pump up? And some of them just weren't able to set the pump up at all. So like, after asking them what kind of seals they were using, this seemed to be the biggest culprit of all, this yellow one. They said that they had trouble adjusting the pressure, they couldn't get no suction, and they'd have to use a lot of washing out liquid. I tried these in a copper pump. They were awful. After about 10 pulls, it just bound up. Couldn't pull the pump at all. So yeah, so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll build a pump. Built this stainless one out of bits and pieces, you can see, still covered in sand. And I also used the blue seal, because when you look on, if you look on eBay and type in bait pump seals eBay, there's not a lot of selection out there. So either these yellow ones or the blue ones, or you get the really thin where you get about 6, and all it does is makes one seal that's like the equivalent of that. And then what you find is when you're pumping with them, they flap apart and fill up with sand, and I mean, when you think they're like £6 for just one seal, not worth it. I think these work out for, I think it's about 4 or 5. They're about £5. Good value. As I say, where I was digging, I just couldn't get on with them, and a lot of the other bait diggers that I bumped into, not professional bait diggers, just people out there trying to get a few worms, had these in their pumps, and they just struggle with them. They couldn't adjust them. As I say, if they adjusted them, 1 minute they were tight, next thing they'd have to pour loads and loads of washing out liquid in. Other parts of the country, you know, if the sand's really gritty or whatever, they might be perfect. There's people out there who probably love them, but for me, no. And a majority of the other bait diggers down on our part of the coast didn't rate these at all. So anyway, as I said, I made this this pump up with an 8mm shaft. I think it's still got the blue seal on there from this morning, if I can pull it out. God. I say I don't use no washing liquid, and if you look, there's no liquid on that at all. It's bone dry. Now this, considering once you got it wet, it performed quite well. Again though, it's like, still needs washing out liquid or some sort of liquid, but yeah, it performed better than this one. I'd say I got a few more worms with this one than I did this one. But look, that's without washing liquid in there. Again, I'll strip this down. This is due repair. If you look at the end washer, you can see it's absolutely knackered. But it's had some abuse, but it's still sand on the shaft. Here we go. Oh mate, look. There's still a load of sand on the end. People ask me how long these seals last for. They last for ages, as long as you don't over tighten them. If you over tighten them, they're like anything, you're just going to screw the seal up. But like, yeah, that's still good. Look, I can even still turn the silicone on there, so that's not even tight. But I say, the reason I'm stripping this one is, if you look at that, the top cap is absolutely knackered. Here's my pump. Yeah. God. See what this one's like. There you go. Put that over there. There's no washing out liquid in on any of these at all. All it is just wet sand. Looks like I might need a new shaft soon though. This one's starting to get a bit thin. See how it's fatter there and it's getting thinner and thinner. then it gets fatter again there. It's a bit like this one. I had this one for about 4 or 5 years. Now look, see how fat it is there? Look, if you turn it that way, you can barely bend it, look. it's that thin. So yeah, if you don't really want to, if you can't be bothered to make your own seals, then let's say the only option you got really are the 3 that's on eBay. Right, the other thing is like, I spoke to one guy on Facebook, and he's literally trying to make his own seals. Fair play to him for giving it a go. But what I think he done was he made the mistake of like making the holes for the silicone 22mm. And when I said to him, have you put a hole in them like that, or are they just solid seals like that? Now he told me that they were solid, and I said to him, what size shaft are you using, M8 or M6? Because obviously it matters a lot. You know, if you're trying to push that through that rubber, it's going to expand it a little bit. Try pushing that one through there, it's either going to split that, or it's going to expand it so much that you'll never get it down the tube. So I've said to him, when you're making these solid seals, is make them smaller. Go to like 18 or 19mm in diameter, and then once you punch the hole through, like with this is solid, so I'll push that through like that. Straight away, that's expanded that a little bit. So when it goes in, gives us a bit of room. But if I do it on this shaft here, this is how I used to do it all the time. I used to just make a solid, and I've been doing it for years like that, just make them solid and then punch it through. And it's only over like the past year that I've started putting a bit more time into the seals, that I started making them with holes in now, and obviously they go on so easy. There's no aggravation at all. But I say, if you're going to make solid seals like that, if you don't put an hole in there, you've got to make them smaller, because they will expand that much. The other thing I found with some of the seals and some of the pumps is like, I found that 12mm, the actual height of the seal, is just about right. If you go too much like this one, you find that when you tighten it up, because it's like double the thickness, you get a lot more drag in the pump when you're trying to pull it. There's a lot more friction there. You don't want too much friction. Obviously, it's just, you know, if you're trying to pump worms, it's just hard work at the end of the day trying to pull that. I've used them, but again, that's the size you want, 12mm. These have got to be the worst things possible. Well, they're probably okay like 20 years ago, but now they're just, you can tighten that up as much as you want, and this, they don't do nothing. They just tighten up to a certain degree. There you go, nothing. And then all they are, they're rock hard. You can't even squeeze that. There's not a lot you can do with that. But like, here's the ones that I use, and that's like, so like you can see there now, like if I squeeze it, look, there's so much play in there. And like, I'm not worried if I naff this one up, but like I can tighten this one up. Just keep tightening it up. Look how it expands. Look, and it's still soft now, look. That's what you want. You need it to be soft. Not too soft, but soft enough that you get plenty of adjustment. I mean, quarter turn on this, and it changes it. Let's see, I can still turn it around now, look. Yeah, let's say, you know, if you don't mind making your own seals, that's the way to go. People say to me, do I sell them? I don't really like selling them, because obviously they're homemade. It's not like that, that's machine made. And yeah, I say that's never going to fall apart. So these are going to like get stripped down, ready for the next set of big tides on the 19th of August onwards. So these have lasted well though, they have lasted well. So I'll just, it's okay to undo them. I'll have to strip the whole pump down, replace the top cap, and then rebuild again, start over again. Now this is what you call a mould. Bob Button, you're a diamond. He made this for me. As you can see, I think this does, it's 49 holes there. So he made this for me. As soon as I started making bait pumps, he said, oh, you need to make a lot more seals for your pumps. So he made this for me. And on the back you can see there's all the screws that get wound in. So what I normally would do is would Vaseline this before I start, wind the threads up so far, and Vaseline on the inside of each one of these holes there. Just put on a bit of rag, just wipe them. Wind the holes up, so wind the screws up so far. Once it's all bolted in place, I say he's made it real pucker, and then just gun in the mastic with these homemade ones and the ones that you'll make. If you use the same material that I do, which is I use that No Nonsense 820 from Screwfix. I think it's about £5.40 a tube. You can't go wrong. I say I've found that the clear is a lot firmer than the white. The white seems to be soft. My mate Steve, he likes the white ones, but I've got used to the clear ones now. And yeah, I'm made up of them. The only thing is, it's like once it's in the mould, it takes 8 days. Exactly 8 days for that to cure. I mean, I can mix them with water, but like if I just pump them straight in there, 8 days, and then even after I've left them for 8 days, the hard bit is for me is trying to get the right time at the stage of when they're curing, of winding the screws out, because even though you put Vaseline on there, you still, you know, might miss a bit on the thread. And what happens is on some of them, they tear. Like as you wind the screw out, you know, look, so out of that 49, I might lose 5 where they've just ripped apart, or just got a split in there, and like as soon as you go like that, they just rip apart. They're no good. And that's the only reason I won't sell them, because I can't guarantee that I could send you 4 or 5. You know, it's a chance you've got to take and a chance I've got to take. With the white ones, you can't even see the split in them, but with the clear, you can. You can see like there's like a fracture mark in it, and you go to open it up and it just splits in half. But with the white ones, you won't see it. So that's the reason that I don't like selling them. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.